The Lord responds to our needs and expectations as He pleases. Someone might pray to be educated, and the Lord will answer to his expectation up to university level. Another person may make the same request, and the Lord will ask him to go to seminary instead of circular school for greater works ahead, and to another person it could be to go to a vocational technical school to learn a trade. The way the Lord responds to our needs questions sometimes may be different from our premeditated expectations. Have you ever asked some rhetorical questions of which you don't really expect answers but just to make a point, like the WH questions: what, when, where, who, why, and how? We serve a God who is all-knowing and has answers to everything, but He chooses if He wants to release the answers or not. Hence the Bible says in Deuteronomy 29:29 that the secret things belong to God, but those things which are revealed belong to us and our children, so we can do according to His word. Let's read the book of Habakkuk 1:1-5. Habakkuk had a heavy burden because of the situation of things during his days. The violence and injustice gave him sleepless nights and restless days. The system was not working as supposed. Too much atrocity, as if there was no law in the land. In his state of confusion, he went to the Lord in prayers many times, and there seems to be no answer. He was consistent in calling on God. He spent time to make intercession and supplications known to God so He could bring about intervention, but it seems the windows of heaven were closed, no sign of God showing up, no glimpse of His glory. The voice of God was scarce. This was enough to put him in desperate situation. Like Elijah was waiting on God to show up. There was a strong wind that torn the mountain apart, an earthquake and then fire, but God was not in any of those. Then Lord came to him in the form of a still small voice. Then Elijah immediately recognized that it was the Lord, and he knew that God's work proceeds and advances, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. Zechariah 4:6. We can see that these three men were in similar situations and did the same thing by inquiring of the Lord for answers or intervention, which was the right thing to do. However, the Lord gave them different answers. God told Habakkuk, "I am doing something about it. If I told you, you won't believe it." Where do we go when we are confused about life? Where do we go when we have rhetorical questions? To whom do we make inquiries? Sometimes we look for answers where there are no answers. Let's take our questions to the Lord for answers, and our troubles to Him for solutions, and our worries, concerns to Him for peace. It is okay to ask God questions, but not with clutched fist. I believe the Lord wants somebody to know the right place to go, the right way to do things in order to get the right result. Some people spend time complaining about what is not going well in the world, even in the church, instead of focusing on what is of eternal value. I mean their relationship with God. Jesus said, "In me you will have peace, not in the world." Whatever it is that you are waiting on God for, and answers that you need to questions such as, when will my redemption come? When will the manifestation of your glory to be seen in my life? How about the fulfillment of the calling? When will the dreams, visions be actualized? God is doing something about it. Sometimes we want something done right now because it has to be done. After all, God has revealed it. I need to see the happen now, then we become anxious, and some may want to cut corners to do whatever it takes to work it out. When it comes to the things of God, we cannot cut corners. If we do, the Lord will bring us back to where we took off. We cannot skip a class. We have to go through the process. It may take years, it may be faster than you expect. Just know that God is the timekeeper, and your obedience will determine the length of time in some cases. Remember, Jonah took the long route initially, but after having a retreat in the belly of the fish, he obeyed God. We have to wait on God for however long it will take. Waiting is not a fun game. Over and over again in the book of Psalm, the Bible says, "Wait on the Lord, wait, I say, wait on the Lord." Habakkuk wondered why there was so much wickedness in the land. In Ecclesiastes 8:11, the Bible says that because justice, judgment, sentence against evil is delayed, that is why the heart of men are set to do evil. Like my husband would say sometimes, that people will not change until they start receiving consequences for their actions. People get involved in evil by ignoring their conscience. When someone does something wrong and the conscience pricked him, he may feel sorry and promise not to do it again, but when he tries it the second time and the conscience does not bother him as much, then he continues and gets so involved that it becomes a lifestyle. May that not be our portion as children of God. Sometimes we do not get answers because we did not ask. Sometimes we ask no answer because we are not patient enough. Like God rebuked Jeremiah for his impatience, we may have to wait sometimes to see the expression of the glory of God in our lives, to receive the hanging blessings and tell the untold testimonies of what we have been believing God for in a long time. We need to wait, persevere, be steadfast, be consistent, and be persistent on the course in light of difficulties, trials, obstacles, or discouragements. By the time we say, well, I prayed 1 hour daily for 1 month and no answer, no results, let me pray 5 or 10 minutes because I am busy, I don't have time to pray. Somebody told me that, well, if you don't have time to pray, you can pray in the shower. I said it is okay to pray in the shower, but don't make it a habit, or let that be your only prayer time. If it happens once in a while that you woke up late and didn't have enough time to pray because you have to rush to work, that is understandable, but not to habitually pray in the shower. When it comes to prayer, like I tell people sometimes, you have to schedule time for it. If you don't schedule time, you won't pray. If you don't schedule time, you won't have a prayer life, a consistent prayer life. For you to stay consistent in whatever you do, you have to consciously and deliberately make yourself to do it over and over again until it becomes part of you. There was a time I used to set my alarm to wake up at midnight to pray. Then after some time, I didn't have to set my alarm anymore. When it is time, I will just wake up either to use the restroom or for some reasons my eyes will be open and I can't sleep, then I know it is that time. Why? Because I have conditioned myself to that time. Your time could be 2 a.m., 6 a.m., or 5 p.m. Whatever time you chose, have a set time to pray. Let it be your watch hour, a time you spend with God. A time you spend alone with God is different from the time of corporate prayer. I am a strong believer in corporate or partnership prayer, but there is nothing like you having your personal time in prayer with God. It builds up your spiritual immunity, helps you to know God better, and have better understanding of the things of God. When you are in doubt and need clarity of what is going on, inquire of the Lord and know that He is doing something about the situation. How do we know that? Because He said in Isaiah 43:1-3 that He will always be there for you. Prayers. O Lord, I surrender my thoughts, questions, emotions, fears, and worries over to you. Let every area of my life align with your word. Anything in me that is opening door for attack, anything exposing me and my family to evil outbreak, giving room to the enemy to evade us, take it away, remove it. Any power anywhere prolonging problems in my household, let it be cut off. O Lord, despite my current situation, help me to mount on my throne. Let me arrive and that people will see you in me. If you found this video informative, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Turn on notifications so you never miss out. See you in the next one.